my name is Tom Ellis and this is my video review for The Last of Us Remastered for Gamer Attitude. As my colleague Chris Golder delicately puts it, The Last of Us will rock your face off. The Last of Us Remastered will put your face back on and slap it off again. Such a sentiment says it all. It's been over a year since Naughty Dog's masterpiece had us in awe, and the game is still far from leaving my mind. The Last of Us has earned its place in my heart along with the movies I can watch over and over again. So picking up the best possible version of it was a no-brainer, and you know what? My face indeed has been slapped back off again. The Last of Us in its simplest form is the grandest, the most emotionally fueled road trip ever. The world has been brought to its knees by the cordyceps fungi. The ones who have been infected in their various horrific stages haunt the survivors, always waiting for the next meal and spread the ferocious infection. Then on the other hand, there are the human hunters who have little regard for life. They will plunder everything and anything. They are murderers, torturers, rapists, cannibals, basically the worst that humankind can offer. Who would you choose to fight? In the middle is Joel and Ellie, each with a distinctive outlook on life. Joel is a survivor with only a simple set of remaining morals, whilst Ellie, though found out, is an optimist, along with a unique condition represents a hope for humankind. They form an inseparable bond over their journey, and the horrific setting they are in almost plays second fiddle to these two incredible characters. In Remastered, I found myself being able to take a step back and take them in further, right from the opening act with Sarah, of how brutal her death was. There was no loving last words, just cries of agony, and then a silence, which completely sets the tone for the rest of the game. I could talk for hours about the story, but this is just my little take on the story. If you haven't played it, you will see and feel something completely different, and for those who have played it, maybe like me, you'll fall in love with The Last of Us all over again, for even more reasons than the first time. Already an incredibly immersive game, The Last of Us Remastered has been polished to the nth degree. The whole game runs at full HD, 1080p, and at 60 frames per second. So much has been said about resolution and frame rate, and for the most part, they don't really matter. But just check out the footage. It's simply mind-bogglingly gorgeous. The cutscenes in particular really show off the silky smoothness of 60 FPS. In-game, scenery goes on for miles and miles. Objects are sharper and the water effects are almost lifelike. Naughty Dog is notorious for their lighting and shadow effects, and their technical wizardry has been turned all the way up to 11 in Remastered. Everything just leaps off the screen, making you feel part of the intricately put together world. Unfortunately, the extra bump does seem to have come at some cost though. There are signs of clipping, and the human models don't keep up with the objects within the game. When Joel and Tess get their passes checked by a security guard, the guard stayed where he was whilst the passes floated in midair before the game caught up and the passes reappearing in the guard's hands. Just a little hiccup, but this didn't happen on the 7-year-old PS3. When entering a new area, the frame rate also takes a second or two to run back up to 60 FPS. There has already been a day one patch, and I'm sure further patches will fix these little niggles. To remake such a big game in under a year is quite a feat, even for Naughty Dog I suppose. But these are very rare occurrences. I love the DualShock 4, it's the best controller Sony has ever made, and playing on The Last of Us Remastered feels even more natural than ever. The trigger buttons make aiming more accurate. Crafting by hitting the touchpad feels so much better than the old select button. The light bar reflects health like in most PS4 games, and the speaker lets out a reassuring click sound when the torch is flicked on. These are only little, subtle touches, but they really pull you into the game even more. Left Behind is also included on the disc. This is the DLC that tells us a little bit more about Ellie and her ill-fated friend Riley. It's a wonderful addition to the overall story that gives Ellie a chance to shine as a character. Naughty Dog also tests out some interesting mechanics that wasn't included in the main game. Ellie can now pit the infected and the hunters together, or better yet, take them out with an exquisitely placed bomb. Like in infamous Second Son, there is also a photo mode that lets players take a snapshot of anything on screen and share it with the world. There are also more trophies for you completionists. All the maps released over the last year is also available in a highly underrated multiplayer. The Last of Us Remastered is an absolute must if you missed it the first time round, and lucky you for being able to play it in its finest, most beautiful form. For those of you who are wondering if it's worth picking up again, yes it is. The improved visual swallows you up whole, and the PS4 controller makes playing the game more enjoyable than ever. Naughty Dog has somehow managed to nudge the impossibly high bar even higher, which is why Uncharted 4 can't come soon enough. Thank you for watching. I give the game 10 out of 10.